All right, welcome back. So, when last we left off, a little bit of recap here. Sean, Soren, you had awakened after falling from the train that you guys were in the process of trying to retake from some bandits. In the process of awakening in the middle of the desert, you found all of your equipment broken. You found that you weren't able to discern kind of a definitive direction that the rest of the group had gone since the train was traveling at such high speeds. And with the dire straits of the environment and, just how dangerous the wilds of Akaton likely would be for you, you headed off in the only landmark direction that you could find, which was a large rock formation to the north. You made it majority of the way, unfortunately losing consciousness due to the unbearable heat, and you awoke in a very dark chamber. Your wounds very hapdash bound, so in that short time by yourself, you tried to take stock of what you had, which unfortunately wasn't much, and you were then briefly questioned about why you were in the desert alone by a very gruff, very large-looking Vesk, who then brought you out into this very ancient, weathered, what appeared to be coliseum of sorts. And in the process of doing so, you met a very large, very intimidating leader of what most likely appears to be some sort of gladiatorial commune of some sort. With little time to kind of describe your plight, you were tasked to prove yourself in the eyes of not only those present, but of their deity, the Grim Commander, the Conqueror. And in doing so, they did provide you with the means to defend yourself and also the means to assault whatever they were putting you up against, which, as we are coming to this session, you see is a very large, hulking figure, probably about a foot taller than you on all fours, but much stockier. You see several horns protruding from its back and from its head, the double-set eyes in the front, all previously looking around the arena, since this is occurring in a very dimly lit setting with all the sconces of flame alight in the surrounding area. The warriors all in the raised platforms around, watching intently as all four eyes focus in your direction. And with your Dashko crackling to life, I need you to go ahead and roll initiative as your right of survival begins. 19. You got an 18.
Oh, nice.
So you get to go first, sir. So, peering across the dimly lit battlefield, rising out, now hovering in place, this large container that this thing is kind of partially shambled out. You see the gate that was previously holding it shut has slammed down, and now looks like it's going to be making its way towards you as it lets out just this tremendous roar.
Bird's pounding your face.
It says, "Hi, how you doing?
Hello.
First things
Welcome to the-
first,
Hello!
Let's be friends.
I'm your best
attune
friend."
myself
I'm the
to
MC for
Photon.
All right, so your silver mote of
big
Solarian
chuckle
energy
thing.
starts to grow and brighten in that silver color.
Okay. Let's see. Is there any like terrain in there?
Yes. This is ground floor. Each corresponding like line indicates a 10-foot rise in terrain. These are rough kind of slopes where the sand is kind of built up in stages over the years. You have, the large rock formation building behind you that you had exited, and you just have the semicircle of the rest of the Colosseum with a large groove that seems to be extending out probably into the desert or to some other portion of this rock formation that you find yourself in the middle of.
Are these doorways still open?
There's no doors. It's just roughly hewn kind of doorways. They're about 15, 16 feet tall. Seem to be to accommodate the larger figures of the surrounding crowd. That all of them are just kind of staring intently.
Well, I guess. Try to use the terrain to my advantage. I'm going to move inside here. 10, 15, 20. Do I have my full movement at this moment?
Yes, I mean it's armor that you're proficient with, so there's no like as you kind of move, you have to kind of get used to the fit. It seems like it's a little bit loose, but I mean for the most part, it feels pretty good.
Gotcha. I guess I want to ready an attack for if this thing starts reaching in there.
All right. So, as you sprint, you see this large creature just let out one more really loud. And it's like a multi-tonal kind of like reverberation because of the high stone walls that seem to kind of stretch high into the sky. And it just starts going into a full sprint. And as it's moving here and you get it gets to be right about there, you see it kind of rear its head back. And it lets out this giant globule of just this viscous green material as it. And
Disgusting.
what is your
Get out of here.
KAC?
16.
Okay. So with this, it is going to be a 21 to hit. So unfortunately, that does hit. And as this, as you're turning around, you see it just kind of connect with your shoulder, and it luckily doesn't catch on your face, but you see just now this.
What's the sound effect real quick?
As it starts to seep in and kind of get underneath the armor, you feel just this extremely biting, painful feeling. I need you to make a fortitude saving throw.
11.
11.
Yep.
You do not succeed. You take 1 point of constitution damage.
Constitution.
Yes. It seems that this venom is very intense, very incredibly corrosive. As it starts to kind of like sort of dissipate, you still feel the after effects of your body. It's just a shock to your system as it now just stands there and just lets out one more loud roar and just seems to kind of like bear itself down as it seems to be assessing the situation. Back to you.
Let's scoot on over to this side. We'll scoot a little bit. Two.
Do my backflip.
Somebody knows Stan's real pumped up about this.
Well, now that combat has kind of initiated, you do hear the random kind of "come on" from the people in the crowd. Put him in a body bag. Put him in a body bag.
Bugger is bugs.
So cute.
It's the mild manner of fierce combat.
Do these people have? I guess I'm just gonna ready another attack.
Dashkos?
Yeah, Dashkos look like that. They're basically look like laser great axes.
Dashko.
What's up?
There's another one right there. But I'm just gonna ready another attack. I want to try to bait this thing into reaching its palm. To tell Jerry that motherfucker.
Okay. So as you get to that edge, you kind of are your breath you're trying to control, and you see it kind of as you kind of peek around the corner. You see it. The head whips around and looks in this direction, and it, it charges over, and you hear just this very loud reverberating as it slams into the stonework.
There we go.
And you see just this large, huge chunk get blasted into the room, and its paw kind of like, you see the very edges of its like giant clawed hands. But the weird thing is, they're not the ones that are on the ground. When you previously like were looking at it, you saw that the ones on the ground, while sharp, were short. These ones are much larger. As it smashes into the stonework, you see they definitely look a lot longer, more for tearing and slashing than, standing on the ground.
Yeah, I'm gonna swing at him with my ready attack.
At the claws that come through, sure.
Yeah. 13. It's a 18. Is it hit?
18?
Yep.
Against KAC?
Doesn't say.
The Flame Dashko? It's an energy weapon, so
It
it
would
would
be
be ESE. So that would be 16. What did you say? No, not 16. 18. 18 does hit.
Nice. It's a 1d8. Or 3.
Not too bad.
Just calm. What did you say, Kevin?
Does your dash code have like a plus to it?
Does it use my...
It's a melee weapon, so I mean, you add your strength to it.
So, 5.
5 damage? Alright. So, as you slash into it, you see, you seem to clip 2 of the claws, use the kind of like raw, crackling, kind of flame-like sound coming from the Dashko. As it swings down, you see this like kind of sizzle as like 2 of the claws, not very long on the, like the entirety of them, but a good portion of them just drops off, and you see these things probably, even though you only clipped off like half of it, it's about 6 inches long.
Big guys.
Yeah, and it kind of roars out in pain. What are you doing?
Oh, is it my turn then?
Well, I mean, that was your attack, or excuse me, that was your ready to attack. So yes, now it is your turn as it ends its turn.
I'm gonna full attunement now, so let's try to blind it. I'm gonna move up into the doorway and shoot a flare right into his face and try to blind him.
All right. So, with that, what does it need to succeed?
Somebody out there isn't anticipating it. They just see him pop into the doorway.
Woo!
You've gotten a fan. From that one
reflex.
hit you got.
Reflex save. What's the save on it? I'm willing to guess it probably passes. It got a 23.
Oh yeah, that's more than anything. Shit.
Okay. So, all right. So as you move into the kind of area there, and you move your moat, you unleash this blast, and it seems that this creature is a little more intelligent than one would assume, as it kind of turns away, and you see like the two eyes on the side kind of close as your flare just blasts out, illuminating the arena very sporadically, just instantly, and then it kind of goes back, and unfortunately it looks like it kind of moves back. So with that, let's see here. Yeah, so just as an awareness, once you've targeted a creature with flare, you can't target it again with this revelation for another 10 minutes.
Yep.
Woo! Woo!
But is that like an attunement that uses an affliction,
That's a long time.
or that just uses fully attuned, and then that's like. It
Well,
just
as a
dissolves.
standard action, you can create a flash of light.
Okay.
So,
You just have movement.
What's it?
You just have movement.
So let's scoot on back in here.
Scoot
So
on
that's
back.
First 10, 15, 20, 20. And yeah, let's just steady myself and wait for the walls to come down. Wait for the walls to fall.
Okay. So as you move back in, you hear this another roar as you hear just this loud, and it rears back again. This time you see the section of wall completely get blasted out, and now as you kind of like cover from the dust explosion, you see now it's got a little bit more room as it kind of and you see probably just like double set rows of very large, very worn teeth as it kind of growls in your direction. At the end of its turn.
Go to the teeth.
Did it move in?
No, it just broke the wall down.
Keep going, photon.
All right, so your moat, which had now dimmed to its normal state, starts to build again.
Every that would be. Every 24 seconds.
Fuck it, I'm just gonna run up and smack him in the
Oscillation.
fucking face.
That's so slow.
All right. So, stepping into the rubble, you kind of turn and swing.
Good.
19.
That hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
Did you still throw
Oh,
it?
there it
It's way out there.
Nice.
4 plus 6. And I forgot the fact that the same as the last one, there's a +1 damage from photon as well.
For photon, when you do what?
For damage on damage rolls.
Are you using your solar weapon?
No, it's when you're attuned to it. Gives
Oh,
you
fully attuned. Or just
no, when
partial?
you first when you attune yourself to either one. When you attune yourself to photon, you get a +1 damage. When you attune yourself to graviton, you get a +1 reflex.
Okay, gotcha. So 6 on the first instance of it, and then what was the next?
+1 on with the photon focus, whatever you call it. Attunement.
Right. So what did you get this time now for
That would
damage?
be 7.
7 damage.
Sure.
Nice.
Right in the stupid face.
You do.
Globular mouth.
As you swing in, as you step and swing in, you catch its side of its face, like behind its second set of eyes, and you just hear this hot sizzling as your Dashko slams into the dirt, and kind of this
I'm gonna reset this room.
confluence of sand.
You did this.
Blasts
my
up.
good rolls.
And it rears back, and it
Those are my.
very much looks like it's in pain from that one, but still very much intent on yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll never get
Okay.
If I move away, let's attack about 2. I guess I'm just gonna ready myself to get smacked or bit or
You can move still,
gored
can't
or.
you?
Huh? I can move. That'll invoke an attack of opportunity. So I'd rather just get hit once.
Does this creature have that reaction, or does everyone?
I think everyone gets an attack of opportunity if you move out of range.
Okay, understand.
I just don't want to get hit twice in one round if I don't have to. So I have a feeling this thing's gonna hurt a lot.
What else can Photon do when you kill the two?
So is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, that's it.
As you're now standing in that area. Okay. So you see now where previously you had struck it. You see that it's the double set of arms that it actually has on its back. As you see, kind of in that middle portion, kind of behind where their fin, if you will, kind of stretches across the back of their body. The one on the left side is the one that you cut, but the one on the right is the one that kind of swings in and starts scratching the stonework as it swings in your direction.
I'm gonna dodge it.
And that is going to be a 16 against your KAC.
That matches.
Matches?
Yep.
All right. So for that, you are going to take
Billion damage.
13 points of slashing damage.
Ouch. Get fucking wrecked.
Hey,
And-
you're still in stamina though, but
As it blasts this like shale into you and like also connecting with its long jagged claws, you see its mouth open up as it reaches in and tries to bite you.
I'm gonna tell it to frig off.
It's a 32 to hit.
No, that misses.
Okay. Well, it's only 8 points of piercing damage, but I need you to make a fortitude saving throw. Yep.
Yes. I got toughness. I got a +4.
All right.
you're gonna need it.
Shit. So 9. 13.
13 matches. So you feel that same corrosive venom starting to kind of course through your system, but luckily you kind of turn and don't take as much as you had previously, and you pry yourself loose of its jaws, but your armor and your flesh is still very much hit by that.
I'm ouchie.
All right, so that's the end of its turn.
All right. Well. Another level to
Go.
Can't explode yet. I need you to really explode. Can I 2 attacks if I don't move?
Yeah.
We've been doing it all campaign.
Let's do
I think you
that.
take it.
Yeah, think of it as it's a full action to do a full attack. So
I'm gonna give him the old double boot.
you just take a -4 on the second attack.
Just for 1 second. That's a
Yep.
19. First one is 19.
That hits.
Oh shit. 1 plus 2 is 3 is 4.
So 4 damage. All right.
And attacking roll dice.
Ah.
Good thought though, going for that double hit.
So spinning
You did damage.
the Dashko around, you slash at it. You catch the arm as it's kind of retracting that from like the rock formation area, and you hear it howl in pain as you like carve a portion. And as you swing a second time to try and catch it in the face, it unfortunately quick retreats. It shows rather nimble nature to it.
I have an image of just like a turtle
Schmutz.
popping his head back into his shell and popping it out real quick.
He just looks so entranced.
What? I was listening to TK's story.
I know, me too.
A giant, scary monster turtle with 6 limbs and horns.
So, just so you know, like similar to like 5th edition, you can take as a move action, for example, like a guarded step. So that's a way for you to move without provoking an attack of opportunity. But you have used a full action, so you can't do a move action this turn. or this round.
Oh.
So, and that's for spaces that you threaten. So, similar thing where you can attack, essentially. So, end of your turn?
Yeah.
All right. Seeing you now kind of in this more enclosed area, it really kind of doubles up on its feral nature as it, like, one arm kind of slams into the top portion
Oh shit.
as it braces itself and comes in with another bite attack.
Shit.
That
Yes.
is a 17 against your KAC.
That's a hit.
That's a hit?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, you take 10 points of piercing damage, and I need you to roll another fortitude saving throw. Seems as every time it bites, you see just this dripping green kind of slime from its fangs in the interior of its mouth.
24.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good.
You luckily, caught on to this
I'm just
trait.
watching like this as he's gnawing on me.
Fair enough. He's going to
Ride
come
my
in.
mode a little bit as it goes to tier 3 and everyone just sees the glory.
Well,
You have
it,
that super Christian Halo. You need
it's
to, after you win this, introduce the entire group watching to the dab.
I like that confidence.
and it's
After I
also
win
it's
this.
coming in for a
That's it.
second attack, Sean.
Oh no. Maybe not.
This is only going to be a 10 to hit.
Hell yeah, I'm still flexing.
He's so
That's
sweat
your
off by that.
suppose.
So, and as it tries to come in for its second attack, the rock that it was bracing against was right on the edge, so it kind of shakes loose from its weight, and it kind of slams into the back wall behind you, but it throws off its aim, and it catches just a huge amount of sand next to you.
That was just like a bully.
So that's the end of its turn.
I'm taking
Turn.
this opportunity.
Now it's time to really explode. I'm gonna use my Soldier Supernova. So that is 1d6 plus 1d6 per level. I need some more d6s.
I got 4 right here if you
Give the
need 'em.
soul a chair.
Tree.
Okay.
So, and if he does a reflex save, he takes half damage.
All right.
6, 8, 10.
All right. And the save for it? This is going to be a little bit lower, so we do need to know that. So its reflex save is going to be 17. Let's write it down.
I think I wrote down.
On your notepad, book.
Do you have your book here?
Basically,
There you go.
sorry.
It happens. Supernova.
So, okay. Write this on the top of your character sheet next to your name. So it's going to be 10 plus half your level plus your main stat modifier.
Plus main stat.
Yes, I believe that's
Which is
going to be
charisma for you.
So,
I think that's what you came to. Your census and like.
Yep, it's going to be in there. So what is the total? Because it rolled 17. So half.
16.
Okay. So it unfortunately succeeds, so it takes half damage. 5 damage? Okay. And if you want to put that down just at the top, do 10 plus half class level plus main or primary stat modifier. Or key ability score modifier, whatever you want to put on. But all the same, your solar mode glows and gains intensity, and eventually just boom, this time less, illumination and more fiery vengeance as it boom, bursts forth, and this silver flame catches it. It seems to move out of the way, but not completely. So it does take that 5 points of damage as it rears backwards. Look like you're doing pretty good damage to it, but I mean it's a very large creature, so.
Sure.
So that was your action.
Yep. Is he still within melee range? So I'd like to use my movement to do that second attack.
Well, so you're doing a full. What is it that you're doing?
I just want to swing a dash go.
Well, you need to be doing an attack for both. Taking the action spot. Like if it's a full action is 2 melee attacks. You wouldn't be able to do a standard action and then follow it up with another attack. Because that's doing that solar, or the explosion is itself a standard action. It's not a melee attack or a ranged attack in the game sense.
I guess I'll just hang out and ready for his next attack.
I mean, you still have your move action because you just took a standard action.
You can
So
do your guarded step.
right.
Let's do a guarded step then.
Okay.
Fall back to here. 10, 15. How much movement do you have?
You have your full 30. So
Before it's just 5, 10, 15, 20. You can still come through. Knock that down.
So for guarded step, you can move. You can carefully step 5 feet, so you're not moving your full movement.
Okay.
But that doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity, even if you're in the threatened square. So you can move a very short distance, but it's basically you taking a more defensive stance and kind of getting that separation.
Doing a quick juke back.
Right. Or you could move your full movement and provoke that attack of opportunity.
Leave it up to the fates.
It's up to you.
I'll just do the guarded step.
Okay.
Back 5 feet.
So you go get that move back 5 feet, and did you move back this way?
Yep, I moved from here
Okay.
to there.
Gotcha. All right. So as you move back, you notice that this creature is very large. So even though the edges are kind of jagged where it's not the original door frame, it still just kind of like pushes against it as it moves inward, and because it moved, it's only making that single attack against you, but it's pushing through, and now it's clamping at you with its jaws again.
Good tactic, by the way.
Clamp. What's the tactic?
That's a natural 20.
Make it move so it
That's a
doesn't
crit.
Shit.
Give me a second here. There's no.
Yeah, I got no way to do myself, though.
This is gonna be big damage because I gotta check something really quick before the hit.
Uh-oh.
Really?
Alright, so if the total result of your attack roll meets or exceeds the target's EAC or KC, use rolls to score a critical hit, you roll the damage twice. So total would be 33. So what's the meets or exceeds the target's? Oh no, yeah, it's gonna crit. Yeah, with that amount, it is going to crit. So all the bonuses get doubled as well as the roll. I'm going to roll just two separate. You take 24 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make another fortitude saving throw. As it seems to be now, from the injuries that you've given it, just going into a primal rage, and it smashing through. You get deep into its mouth as it clamps down hard.
Let's see. 17.
Yeah, you're
21.
fine. You're fine.
Nice.
So you
Nice.
successfully resist the venom portion. Unfortunately, the tremendous piercing damage, it's pretty heavy. So that's the end of its turn, as now it's kind of partially in the doorway. Give me a perception check really quick.
1 sec, I'm telling you my damage.
That was 24.
Yeah, I have to carry the stamina away and work from that.
Oof. Let's go back into Photon Attunement.
Perception. What were you saying? Perception?
Yep. Give me a perception check.
Sylvie?
14.
As you're kind of looking at it, you notice that the archway for the original door, which is still large, it's like 15 feet up. It's a kind of jagged slant, and then kind of where it's pressed its body in, it's much lower. So the surrounding rock seems like it's, very, very kind of jagged in that sense, and just kind of looking at it, you're like not sure, if it or you damaging it is going to bring more or all of this rock area down.
If I go down, you're coming with me, bitch.
Just Rancor's ass.
I don't think I can reach that high.
Yeah, no, the archway and in this area, it's probably the roof, like the ceiling, is probably about like 15 feet tall.
Okay. And this thing is what, like
14.
The height of it, as it's like standing there,
Like
like the main portion of its back is probably a little bit taller than you, and its horns probably stick up another like 2 feet, give or take.
I wanted to do like an upward slash to try to spook it into rearing up.
So
Bait a dodge out of it to make it like crash into the rocks up above.
okay, so we could do that as like say a feint, essentially. So what you would do is you're going to do a bluff check.
Okay.
So feint is a standard action, so you roll a bluff check, and if instead of the minus to the AC, you could say like might rear back off of that. 10. You swing upwards. Unfortunately, I think it doesn't seem to spook it in the way that you wanted to. Either due to the size or the fact that it's got you seemingly cornered. Doesn't seem to threaten it in any way.
Shit. All right.
It's a good attempt, though.
Yeah. Don't suppose I could do a normal attack now, right? Since it's a bluff.
Yeah, unfortunately not. It is while it is a standard action, it's not an attack specifically. It's a different combat action.
Yep.
So you can't follow that up, and you'd have to be basically doing a full action, full attack.
Well, let's do another guarded step, 5 feet this way.
Okay. All right. So, as you kind of move inwards, and you are starting to kind of worry about the surrounding area, you see it now pawing inwards. It's going to try and make an attack at you. It's like it's trying to bite you. Given the now that you're a little bit further away, you will get like a +2 to your AC.
Okay.
Just because you're like kind of in like partial cover. So that's going to be a 16 to hit from its bite attack.
That +2 puts me at 18.
18? All right. So it gets just a large chunk of rock in its mouth, and you see the power of its jaws just crush it to dust, but it does miss you. So at that point, it's kind of, and it seems to move away. So since it's that close, you do get an attack of opportunity
Oh, hell yeah.
as it moves.
Oh, hell no. It's a 9.
9?
Or wait, 9, 11. Yeah. Or no, just 9.
Why'd you just say 9?
9? No, 9, no!
9.
How much? What'd you
It's
get?
just 9.
9?
9.
Unfortunately, that does not hit.
9/11.
I was like,
9.
why are you saying 9/11?
Because I forgot that my strength was
9.
already
Trying
factored.
to
My
swing-
strength mod is already
9.
I
factored
thought
in.
you were doing some
I love
Illuminati
it.
stuff.
Trying to swing as
I was
like
making a
the
joke.
dust is still very heavily circulating. You unfortunately miss, and that's when you realize that it's now kind of backed up about 15, 20 feet, and you just see it like staring you down as it lets out another huge, tremendous roar.
Flip it off.
That's the end of its turn.
Oh, okay.
Show me where the drivers live.
We got a Bugs Bunny strategy that I think might work.
Okay.
Those always work.
Rabbit season. Yeah, figure out the name of this thing and then call out that it's that season. Everybody. Ah!
What I want to do is stand in the open of the kind of broken up wall right there so it can see me.
Mm-hmm.
I want to just bait it into charging me. I want to incense it, and I want to dodge out of the way so it crashes through and hopefully knocks itself out by running into the wall. Fucking Looney Tunes style.
Okay. Give me a bluff check.
Double check. 16.
All right. So what is? So you're just kind of, come on, kill me!
Do it!
do anything for! Do anything for!
motherfucker.
Okay. All right. So
You
you
got the red cape.
standing there. I mean, at this point, I mean you can't ready a move action if you've already started moving this turn.
Okay.
So I mean you're stuck here if you're just gonna stay. I mean it seems like you've kind of enraged it a little bit, but
What if I can't jump out of the way and see a turn?
right.
I can still move normally, right?
Right, absolutely, yeah.
Come on.
No, really. Come here. Follow me.
Come this way.
I guess I'll move 10 feet right here.
That's a lot of feet.
So I'm kind of behind that like rough cover there. Hopefully he trips up on that. And
Give him the Leonidas. It
Kick
would
him
really
in.
work in this situation. No, I kick him. What he did to the wolf.
I don't have a spear though.
Dash, cool.
Did you use your dick?
Dash.
Bruh.
Go.
No.
Oh. Dash.
Yeah, I think that'll do it.
That'll do it. All right.
That'll do, big.
So, as it kind of roars and seems to seems like it's not sure about what it wants to do. You see it kind of lumber a little bit closer,
Can
And-
spit it.
and you see a large globule spit outwards. That's a 21 to hit.
Yep.
I need you to give me a fortitude saving throw.
7, 11.
11. Okay, so unfortunately that does not hit. So you actually take 4 damage. You're at level 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the way that ability score damage works is for every 2 like Constitution damage that you're taking here, you take stamina point damage equal to your level, and your ability score for Constitution actually goes down by 1. Your score, not your modifier.
So does that put me down to 10 if I was at 12 at the start of the fight?
No.
Since I hit twice?
You get hit twice, but for every 2 it goes down 1.
okay.
It doesn't go down
It needs to
each
do-
time.
Okay,
It needs to
well, I'm
do
at
2
11 now.
Constitution damage to go down 1.
Okay, so I'm at 11.
And if you take
Hazelnut.
Constitution
Ow.
damage that equals your Constitution score, you instead just outright die. So
Oh.
if you keep taking this Constitution damage,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean this is obviously like, just the Constitution damage killing you, but it would take a while. But
It'll happen.
that's what Constitution damage does in this case. So
You're fully attuned now, though.
it is now your turn, as it had just hit that globule of venom at you.
I'm glowing like a Super Saiyan.
Oh!
So I'm gonna
Hear the red Valkyries come.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So he sees me go that way. Or he sees me go that way without seeing
sneaky
me.
bitty.
I'm going make him think I'm going for the other door. Or something, I don't know. I'm doing mind games.
He's playing checkers while I'm playing chess.
I'm playing Quaaludes.
I'm playing. Sorry.
What?
I'm playing Sabak.
All right. So you moved.
Yep, I moved. And it's ready and attack if he comes within range.
Okay. So it's a melee attack
Yep.
when he comes in range.
Yes.
Okay. So that would be within 5 feet of you. Because that thing does. Did I put that in? Does it have reach? I can't remember if it does.
I think so.
If I didn't write it on there, then it doesn't.
If you're fully attuned, you have to use it. When it's fully attuned, I think you say it.
Yeah, you don't have to use it right away.
Nice. You just have to wait 3 turns to go fully attuned.
Yeah.
Some abilities you can use without being fully attuned as well.
I was just thinking it sucked. You had to use it once it's fully attuned. Once you use it.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's
Supernova, you gotta be fully attuned.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't have reach. So.
Not reach.
Yep. Okay. So, the end of your turn, you hear the familiar as it blasts through, and it comes into range. Go ahead and make your attack before it tries to bite you.
Ooh, is it 19?
It is,
No, 19.
Oh, yeah.
Plus 5, 24.
24, it absolutely hits.
Full 8. Plus a 2 is a 10. Plus the 1 from Photon is 11.
Yar.
11.
Oh.
11 fire damage.
Yar.
That's the way to do it.
As its jaws are coming in your direction, your Dashko comes and meets its jaws,
Tickle his tongue
and
with the fire.
you catch the side of its mouth as its jaws are opening, and you slice a good gash down the side. You've hurt it pretty hard.
Good.
Good gashing.
And now it's
Good
going to kill me
gashing.
in this attack.
You got a good fight in me.
Nothing else you can do on this turn?
Well, it's
No,
out
that
of
was
his,
my ready to attack.
Yeah, this is
Yeah,
ready
it's
to attack.
Oh, this is. Oh,
If
wow.
I
This is-
survive
it's-
this attack, I might be able to do something.
That is a 24 to hit.
Fuck no, it hits.
All right, you take
Dead damage.
dad damage. You actually take 11 points of piercing damage back.
Oh.
I mean, it does the same amount of damage as you.
Oh.
It does 11 damage,
Okay, well, I'm
With
still
his bite.
standing.
Oh my god.
and you
Attaboy.
need to give me another fortitude saving throw.
Don't let this.
12.
unless your modifier is only 1. I mean, if it was a 0, you would fail. That's the only situation. So what's your fortitude modifier?
Gets knocked down to 4.
You're still good.
So
that's a 16.
16, 20.
Yep. All right. So you luckily do not feel the effects of the venom this time, as it seemed more damaging in nature. But now you are in a very closed area, and it roars once more, partially in pain and also just in bestial fury. But it reverbs really loud in this chamber now, and you feel the of rocks kind of partially falling from just the sound.
Kick his
I'm
dick
gonna roar
in!
back at him, and as soon as I start roaring, like I'm gonna unleash my supernova.
All right. So your DC
Oh
for
my god,
the
that's
reflex
a lot
save?
of dice.
What's that?
What's the DC on the reflex save?
Let's see, 16.
16.
11 there.
Yep, you're right.
It got an 11.
Ho ho!
Sorry, 12. But still failed. So it takes the full damage.
Fuck yeah,
11
it does.
And how much damage?
11.
11
Another
damage.
11.
Battle of the 11s back and forth. It is looking really rough.
Well, some hefty hits.
So he's
Yeah.
not dead yet?
No, he's not dead, but
But-
you see tremendous amount of damage on it. As its face now partially scarred, you actually see two from this like blast as your kind of like vision starts to like clarify once more from like the flames. You see that the two eyes on the one side are actually burned away and kind of cauterized almost partially. Not only from like that, but probably from like your dashka as you were pulling it out from its mouth. It is looking really rough.
Here's a question out of curiosity. Is that a 360
Yes.
explosion? Or is
Yes.
Good point. Now that
10 feet.
that's the second
That's what
time
I was
that you've done
hoping.
that.
That's what I was hoping for, was knock some rocks down on top of him as well.
And he barged through there pretty beastly.
Yeah. You see a large groove
that.
starting to split, not only from like where it had charged in, but you see now
Future looking bright.
as you kind of like looked, you're really trying to quick glancing around. You see that the rocks next to you on the left and behind you have also large grooves in them.
Make a note, those rocks make weird noises.
They do.
Alright.
I mean, I don't have a rock that I can,
I'm just saying. Just imagining that in your life.
My God, it was so rock-like. So that was your action, your standard action.
Yes.
You still have your movement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna roll the dice just to be fun.
Do I risk the attack of opportunity to get out of there?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
It's up to you. You're the gladiator here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let the dice decide.
Don't know what that means.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what that means. What is he rolling?
A 6.
I was rolling to see which is yes or no. Evens yes.
Okay,
odds
so-
no's. So I'm doing it. I'm moving up.
This thing's too fucking tall sometimes. I can't see shit.
So
I'm
I'm
just
gonna
like-
trigger an attack of opportunity, I guess, when I move out of his range.
Yep, and you notice that he actually, as you get 10 feet away, it actually has this whole time had reach.
Oh shit.
So as you move out of there,
Scarab.
it's going in for one last bite as you're moving away. It's a 30 to hit.
What?
Its modifier is insane.
God.
I'm dead.
Ooh. That is 13 points of piercing damage.
Yeah, I'm down.
You're down.
Sure.
That last bite connects with your back. Yeah, 13. Okay. So as the room starts to, you hear the splintering of stonework next to you. Um, you see, as you turn around trying to run away from it, it's already lunging in your direction. And you feel its teeth sink into your side, and it pierces into you, and that puts you unconscious. Do you have, now that it's your turn, any resolve points?
I got full resolve points.
Okay. Because he's unconscious, but wait, let's see here. So that was actually, sorry, that was your turn.
Mm-hmm.
How much did it go over by?
12.
12?
Yep.
Okay, and your hit points?
My max?
Yeah.
32.
Okay, all right. So it went over by 12, but your HP is 32. Gotcha. Okay, cool. So that's the end of your turn. Let me see here. Because now it's going to be its turn, and I need to check something really quick as it's attacking you when you're prone. Now that we've figured out the rules here, now that you've fallen unconscious and you are dying, effectively, it is going to attack. And its first attack is going to be with a +4 because you are prone. I think that that actually is going to probably not hit here. No, sorry. That's going to be a math 17 to hit.
I don't have that +2 anymore, do I?
Nope.
That
That would have been good.
barely exceeds.
It doesn't kill you because the total is going to be a 9 points of damage. And it doesn't outright kill you, but you do need to roll. Actually, no, you automatically fail because you're unconscious. You fail that fortitude saving throw. So now you take another point of Constitution damage. It's going to take a second attack against you. That is going to be much higher this time. It's going to be a 28 to hit. 8 points of damage, and you take another point of Constitution damage. So that now reduces you another point for your Constitution score. That's the end of its round. Back to you. While dying, this is just as it comes to your turn, you lose 1 resolve point each round at the end of your turn. But that's only if you stay dying. So if you're using resolve points, you're able to stabilize yourself. So you can spend a number equal to 1/4 of your maximum to stabilize.
Okay.
That means you're no longer dying, but you remain unconscious and at 0 HP.
Yeah, let's burn resolve point. Try to not die.
Okay. So you're stabilized.
You're not dying.
You're not dying.
Yay!
And it's now going to be its turn.
You're
As
dying.
you are.
I'm dying.
So, to kind of move this a little bit forward, while they have been out of view, nobody in the crowd has made a movement to interfere. And this is going to keep on going. We can certainly keep rolling this out if you want. But the sounds of combat start to subside, and the sounds of start to build as, at this point now, there's no way for you to survive in this situation. So as your consciousness kind of fades in and out, You see that it starts to, at the bottom portion of your body. It's not tearing, really. You feel what you think is pain as your consciousness starts to fade, but in fact, what its venom is doing is it's dissolving your bones. And unfortunately, with no one there to save you, the final last and tremendous roar reverbs, and the silent attendees still just remain silent as Soren is no more.